Hello, hello again. It's Dr. J. And wow, I love these opportunities. I get to honor amazing women. Today I want to honor this wonderful woman. She is extraordinary and she is the Comtivate woman in history. And I tell you what, at Comtivate, we're celebrating these extraordinary women who are doing just the things they do in their lives, the thing they do in the workplace, in the home, in the communities. These are women that they're being professionals. And as they run their homes, they also run in the workplace. They're running businesses. And so at Comtivate, this intent is really to celebrate them so that there's got to be another woman out there, a young girl who can stop. And when she sees this, she says, I could be like one of these ladies. And that's the purpose of the celebration. Life is tough enough. We have a lot of things to worry about. And so I am getting to this place of celebration because there are women out there who are extraordinary and powerful, and I get the opportunity to do that. So today I have my very, very special woman coming from far, far away. I'm going to tell her to tell you where she's from, but I just want to thank you, Alicia Stone. Thank you so much, Alicia, for just being who you are, for being that extraordinary woman, for just spending so much time in your community, changing the lives of people. I mean, you could have done anything else, but you choose to use your time to bless others, to help others, to educate others, to lift others up. And so as you lift people up, I want you to know that today you are the Comtivate woman in history. No other day like today. Like we said, this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. And what a wonderful opportunity we get to meet you. As I just want to say, world, here comes Alicia. So how are you doing today, my dear?
Oh, I'm well. Thank you so much, Dr. J. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share with you. Since we've connected, you've really been a source of strength and inspiration for me. And I'm just so honored, so honored to share this space with you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm good. I'm good. Thanks. It's nice and warm here in Kingston, Jamaica. So I bring you greetings.
Kingston,
Warm and sunny
Jamaica.
greetings from warm Kingston, Jamaica. I'm so blessed to be here, and all is well on my end. Thank the Lord.
Thank God. Alicia, when I think about you and what you do, I think about when I was in Jamaica. I wish there was a woman like you. I could just actually know, but I do have a powerful woman in my life. So I am from Jamaica as well, and my grew up in the country. So all the Jamaicans who will watch this after this, yes, I am from Rocky Point, born in Clarendon, and so as life happens for so many children, by way of Rocky Point into Spanish Town, then into Kingston, and went to the best high school in town, St. Andrew High School for
We're
girls.
gonna leave that alone. We're gonna leave that alone.
And so it just it excites me for what you do, and that's one of the things that I'm so attracted to you, because like I said before, you could have made many other choices, but you choose to do what you do, and that's why I'm celebrating you. Coming from Jamaica and know what it takes, and just know the length of persistence and dedication and commitment. It just I'm just honored to be in your presence, so thank you very much. I want to talk to you today because, again, we want this conversation to be a conversation that a little girl in Jamaica can look at and say, oh
Okay.
my God, I can be like Alicia, I can be like Sharon. And so one of the questions that I love this question to ask women is, I see you as extraordinary because of what you do, but I want you to tell me how are you maximizing your potential, right? God gives us this great potential. The greatest gift we can give back to God is maximizing that potential, and you're doing that so well. Tell us how you do that, whether it's at home, at work, it's just what you do.
Yes. So you said it, this idea of potential,
Mhm.
it is God-given, and so we really don't know the limit or the extent of it. Because it's really what God has put inside of us. I think the thing that we can control, or the thing that we can do, is maximize our today. We have no idea what the potential really is. I mean, the builder of a chair can tell you the chair can hold 20 pounds. The builder of the car, the manufacturer of the car can tell you it can carry so much weight and it can go this fast. We really don't know what is in us except through connection with our manufacturer. God. What we do know is what's in front of us, or what's in front of us today. So for me, maximizing my potential, not knowing what it is maximizing my reality. So starting with what's in front of me today and doing that well and stewarding that well. And I have a feeling that if I keep doing that and connecting with my manufacturer, somehow I will be making steps towards this unknown potential. That's kind of how I see it. So start off with, what do I have to do today? A college student, a young professional, which those are the people I speak to primarily, or a mother, an entrepreneur, a leader. I don't think we should get bogged down with this idea of let me get to potential. That's over there, and we really don't know what it is. But let's figure out what's the task today, the assignment that's due today, the deadline that's due next week. What are the things that we have in front of us to do now, and do that.
Wow.
If you think about it a little bit more, going back to this idea of connecting with the manufacturer, no, that is another realm or dimension to it, I think, because then as you get closer, for me, as I get closer to God, I get a little bit more insight on maybe what the potential is. But I don't have the full picture. I don't know if you do. I don't. But for me is as I'm walking through my daily tasks and trying to do them well, is talking to God. Okay, so how do I do this? And what are you leading me into through this thing? So it's having those conversations with my manufacturer to figure out, all right, why am I really here? And what's going on here?
Wow. So, you know what, you said a lot of things. Oh my goodness. You talk about connecting with God. Clearly you're a woman of faith. And so that's just significant part of being a woman too. And you've just taken us to all these elevated thoughts right now as you were speaking, Alicia. But you talk about today, right? And today matters. And we know the things we do today, it really propels us for the future, tomorrow. And so that's a very pivotal time that you're talking about in your life. And we know that, when we're connected, Napoleon Hill says, and as you talk about being connected to the manufacturer, Napoleon Hill said, we think and we become. But he also says that faith, having that faith, which is what you're saying now, when you mix faith, faith is like a chemical, faith is like an elixir. When you mix faith with prayer, it gives connection. That connection you're talking about, give connection to infinite intelligence. And so clearly you are operating by faith. And I love that you can be so strong in your faith, in that you're almost like proclaiming your faith as part of your being extraordinary, right? And so that little girl who's watching you right now in Jamaica, maybe, or some girls who may watch us from Nigeria, and as we don't know where these words will fall, but like you say, today matters, right? What we do today.
Oh, certainly,
so,
certainly.
We talk about purpose. And so because a lot of what you're doing has shown that you are, as much as we're still experiencing and exploring our potential, it's so limitless. And so we're still always growing and forming and norming, but you talk about that. And so it tells me that you have in some way identified your purpose. Many people can't find their purpose. Big grown folks can't find their purpose. The little girl out there still don't know how. There's a woman out there still trying to figure it out. So when it comes to finding your purpose, I want you to share with us maybe a story. What's that thing that drives you? What is that thing?
You know what? So I'll look at it in two ways. One is the story about me finding my purpose, and then what drives me. They're connected, they certainly are, but let me see if I can remember to break them down in two parts. So the story, I say, I began to uncover or discover, unearth my purpose through what I call the stretch. And the stretch for me is when you're placed in this uncomfortable situation and you have to just figure out how we're going to push through this thing and learn from it. So it was through one of my stretching experiences where I had to make sense of the nonsense that was going on in my life.
Oh.
And that's where I think I became a little bit clearer and maybe why I'm here, like why I'm here. So a few years ago, I started a new job. My background is in law. So I studied law for in the early parts of my adult life. Then I practiced law in Trinidad and Tobago. Then I went to Harvard Law School for to get a master's in law. So when I came back to Jamaica, I went into academia. First time I was going into teaching full time. Within a year of, of teaching, I was promoted to lead the academic team in my faculty. Not only was I new to teaching, I was new to this institution, and I was new to leading in this way.
Oh my gosh.
And so I had to figure out, how am I going to lead these people? Everybody except one person was older than I am. Well, still is. Everybody. So I'm leading people who are seasoned attorneys, seasoned academics, people who were in the institution for a long period of time. The only person who was younger than me was the person who came in with me. So for a year and a half or so, as feeling my way, as making it, as producing, and some would say as doing well, until I called the revolution. The revolution came. So
Oh my God.
a small segment of my team revolted. And just to make the story really short, and these were the oldest of the group. And I just had to figure out how to respond. So for much of the tension and the hard period, I was silent. And so nobody really knew where I was going, what I was doing, but I was silent. But I learned to pray. And this is why my faith just bleeds through me.
I love it.
Because that became the only way I could figure things out. I was new to this thing. And here came this storm out of nowhere. And so I pushed through, but I became very uncomfortable, and it wasn't fun anymore. There was no joy. There was no joy. I tried to leave. There were opportunities to leave, and nothing worked for me to leave. And eventually I said, okay, God, all right. So if we're going to be here, and we meaning me and you, we're going to be here, then there must still be something for me to get, or something for me to give, or both. So I'm going to try to figure it out, and you need to help me figure this thing out, because what we're not going to do is go through this in vain.
I'm not gonna quit.
What we're not gonna do is go through this testing for nothing. And as I began to think about it and pray about it, I somehow felt a shift. So for the entire period, I was trying to figure out how to get my colleagues to see things this way, to move forward, to build, to press along. And really, I felt a shift. You are at this institution for your students. And I made that switch. As soon as I started to think about it like that, one, I realized half of what I was doing as a leader was not my job. I was doing it because the leader wasn't doing it. And I just naturally filled the spot. So then I realized, that really isn't what I was supposed to be doing. I was just naturally carrying this thing. So as I shifted my focus, so I got to shed some of that weight.
Yeah.
And then I got an opportunity to see areas in which I could impart to students in ways that they really needed it. So I realized that my students, a lot of my students did not and do not have mentors in the field or mentors period to say, hey, what, this, we don't do this, but make sure when you're going for the job interview, you are thinking about these questions and this is how we present ourselves and oh, you need a jacket. You don't just walk up in that without a jacket. That kind of, they did not have
Wow.
that. And I took it for granted. But as I was looking more closely, because of this shift, I realized, here's a little vacuum that I'm in a good place to help to fill. And that really was how my podcast started. Initially, it was my attempt to have personal development seminars for my students. And then COVID came. So I never had any of those seminars where I already had guests intending to come and present to my students on financial management and personal branding and all these different topics. We didn't have any of those sessions planned. But then I thought, well, let's just take it to the airwaves. And that's how I started the professional podcast. It's really for my students. It's now open to everybody, but it really started for them. So the purpose part now, in doing all of this, I realized that a part of what I'm here to do is to help people to grow. But I've also realized that my way of helping is helping people to see things differently. So I know you are here to help people to grow, and another sister is here to help people to grow, but we do it differently. Some people are inspirational speakers and motivators. I think my area is to present a new way of seeing life, a new way of seeing yourself, and even a new way of seeing God. And hopefully in you trying to figure out this new way I'm presenting, you are developed and you grow and you flourish, you know? So I think it was through this process that I realized that through my talents and my gifts, through the things that I'm natural at. So I'm a critical person. So I naturally see things different ways. We will see one problem and I think of 5 ways it could go wrong. And then I will think of, okay, but here's the way it will go right. So that's me naturally. And so I figured, I feel like I'm wired to do this. And this is how I will answer a question in this earth. And I'm the answer to that particular question for these people. That's how, that's my story to figuring out purpose.
Yeah,
And I'm still figuring it out, I think.
wow. So you know what you just did? You have just given the answer to somebody who have not been able. Oh my goodness. I wish I could repeat everything you said, but you know, think about what you just it's like so powerful. I'm listening to you like, wait a minute. She's got Harvard. Wait, let me back up a little bit, right? You practice in Trinidad and Tobago. You went to Harvard, is that correct? And you
Yes.
came back and you're back in Jamaica and your faculty. I mean, you look like you're a baby. So I'm trying to figure it out in my head. But I think the most important thing that I'm learning, and this is an absolute growth moment for me too as well, because you're saying that because of a situation, you use that situation and you propelled it, you just rewired the situation and make it purposeful. So that's a lesson that you've just taught us, you know, in and of itself. You could create a course for that. And this is why I'm honoring you. And this is why I know that there's somebody listening, because you've just taught us that no matter what happens to you in life, you can just change the situation
Change
and
your
make it into
perspective.
something different. And almost you even told us about that servant leadership, because your podcast is not about you, it's about your students. So not only you're just a phenomenal, extraordinary woman, you are a servant leader as well. Oh my goodness, I love it. Thank you for sharing that story. So Lisa, we know now that we could talk forever, but even in this moment, there's a young girl who says, well, I still don't know how to move from ordinary to extraordinary. I'm listening to Sharon, I'm listening to Lisa. We're both from Jamaica, and we have just expanded in different areas of impacting people. But this young girl is still at this place that says, how do I move from just being ordinary to being extraordinary? What would you tell her?
So the first thing that came to mind is, you are already extraordinary, girl. That's the first thing that came to mind. You are a woman. You are extraordinary.
My gosh, oh my goodness.
But I understand what you're asking me. And you know what? It goes back, I think, to that question about potential and doing things, doing today, doing what you can today. Yeah. And I think if you're thinking about moving from ordinary to this idea of extraordinary, I think simply it's do ordinary things extraordinarily. It's that same principle. What's in front of you, and do that well. And I say this on I start the podcast with this section called the success equation, that failing forward plus working well equals success. That working well bit, it's extreme. Well, they both are important. Both elements are important. But I think this ordinary to extraordinary is this working well piece. The ordinary things you have to do today, do them extraordinarily. And you keep doing that, you develop a habit. You become extraordinary. So it's not just what you do, or it's not just an assessment of what you produce that is extraordinary. You are a manifestation of extraordinariness. And I think too, it comes back to your question on purpose. So maybe in some way, maybe if we take our focus a little bit off of being this extraordinary person, then let's just find this purpose and walk in it. I think that will take care of.
I'm just going to give you
how do I move?
Love. I think I need to just go to Jamaica. You're gonna make me fall and I'll come and for my Jamaican family, for my Jamaican family, she can make me fall and I'll come and can't believe so. She doesn't talk. And so for my other family out there, what I mean is, she is about to make me cry. Oh my goodness, you're just so powerful. Do what you do ordinary, extraordinarily. You know what? I've not heard it said that way. Never hear nobody say it like that before.
I hear it.
Never hear nobody say that like that before. But you say, do what you do. And that's so powerful. So we laugh at that fact, but it is such a powerful thing, because so many people today, when they listen to you, I believe that they'll understand that. They'll look at you and understand that I can do, no matter where I am, whether I'm in, in America or Trinidad and Tobago or in Jamaica or Africa, Nigeria, because people are going to listen to this and it doesn't matter who you are. And then you said that you're a woman, so you're already extraordinary. How powerful is that? Woman of God, I thank you so much. I mean, we could talk forever, but I tell you, it's such a delight. I am so proud of you. So proud of what you represent, so proud of how you are carrying it, I'm so proud of how you are putting God first, and you're clearly a light. You remind me of Nelson Mandela's speech that says, our deepest fear is that we have this deep fear is that we're inadequate. And I mean, our deepest fear is that we think that we are just not powerful. And the thing is, we should realize that we are powerful beyond measure. We were born. Sometimes we stop and we say, who am I to be gorgeous, talented, extraordinary? I mean, you said that we are extraordinary by birth. And I want to tell you, Alicia, continue to let your light shine. And for everyone else who's listening, When we let our light shine, we give so many people around us the permission to let their
Yeah.
light shine. And God, you are shining bright and you're just allowing me to shine. And for every person that listens, think about Alicia, you have just given the world permission to shine. And for that, I'm telling you, you are a Comtivate, extraordinary and powerful woman. May God continue to bless you and keep you and just over you as you go through these things, because we know it's not easy being a woman, but we know it's a beautiful gift being born as a woman, and you are representing women well. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Can people contact you if they wish to reach out to you? How do they do that?
Oh, yes. So you can reach out to me at theprofessionalbecomes@gmail.com. That's theprofessionalbecomes@gmail.com. You can find me on Instagram at theprofessionalbecomes. And you can catch me on my podcast on Apple, on Amazon, on Spotify, and Google. It's The Professional. That's it. Or on Facebook as well as Alicia Stone.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to give you a big old hug and
Right
say
back at you.
thank you, thank you, thank you. I totally enjoy this. And for those of you folks, listen, my name is Dr. Sharon Johnson. I am the CEO of Comtivate, Leadership and Development LLC. I have one goal in life, and that is to inspire and empower people to live their best life and become their God-given potential, the way that they were created. You know, we're masterpieces created by God for his purpose. And today, to Alicia and I, we just want to let you know that you are created for that day. And so we thank you so much for listening. At Comtivate, I always say, stay beautiful, stay fabulous. And if you do nothing else, stay motivated. Thank you. Thank you.